True story. Inbreeding meth had chazzed us. Let's start by talking about my friend, Stacy. Stacy has one of those names that is mostly used on girls, but once in a while some poor bloke would get stuck with it. Stacy like I was mentally handicapped. I'm bipolar and Asperger's syndrome. He's paranoid, schizophrenic and bipolar. Together in high school we ran and curated a clique for autistic kids. We are polar opposites, no pun intended, but we are like brothers. We are so close in fact that most people in our town think we are homosexual and have been dating since grade 8. We constantly get asked what date we are tying the knot, and as a joke to perpetuate this rumor hold hands in public. Another member of our group we will call Luis. Luis was Mexican. His family came from Mexico, bought and renovated a dilapidated mosque, and turned it into their own private hacienda. When I say private I mean it, they have one hell of a security system. It has so many locks you basically have to have a conference call with every member of the family before they unlock the door. Then you get re-interviewed by his mother, and can still get the door slammed in your face. Louis' family was strict Catholic. His mom was almost as extreme as a Westboro Baptist churchgoer. Despite this, Louis was a good bloke. He was intelligent and kind. He could party with the best of them. At house parties while we are all casually smoking from our pipes like Sherlock Holmes, he would lung an entire Cool Whip container of wheat or corn husks, then lie on the ground laughing, grabbing himself and trying to form consonants. We had jokingly say, "Come on, Louis. Use your big boy words, I know. We are dicks, lol, sue us." I remember one time at a metal festival put on by local bands I was having a beer and talking with the promoters, when after 6 hours in there Louis emerges from the mosh pit with his nose actually split. There was a 3/4-inch hole separating his bridge from the middle of his nose, blood gushing out, and he just walked over to a mirror by me and said, "Darcy, I think I need a hospital." The promoters and organizers offered to drive him, and he said, "What? Not now. I'm going back in," before taking off his shirt, tying it around his face and jumping back in. He was not just a party boy, he was relatively intelligent and a good critical thinker. I know on more than one occasion we had stay up working all night on a problem, and he had come in and within 3 seconds have the blindingly obvious answer we somehow did not get. We loved Louis. This was a Sunday right before grade 12 prom. Stacy and I met up at 8 a.m. and played Mario Kart all day, trolled around on Chatterbait and Omegle. By 3 p.m. we were bored. We thought let's cruise with Louis, and that's what we went to do. Louis' block was not bad. He was a few blocks from the white supremacists and Crips. There was a few drug dealer houses, but the nice dudes who never attracted the really bad crowd, and a soup kitchen attached to a church right by. We ring him and get the response I expected, which was his mom screaming, "Get away. Leave my boy alone, he's a good boy." In her very typical Mexican accent. Bored again, we, not sure what to do, just walked back to my car. As we did, this tall lanky man started following a block behind. He was white, his head was misshapen, his ears huge and the rest of his head in the shape of a cashew, his lips engorged. I assumed he was the product of incest and just ripped my cap to him and kept moving. Speaking of tipping my cap, I used to emulate Winston Churchill and therefore always wore a bowler hat wherever I went. The man following us was clearly drugged out of his mind. He was dressed like a farmer from the 30s, his clothes seemed to be at least that old, and had not been washed since then. Darcy, Stacy muttered under his breath. "Is the meth head following us?" I very quietly breathed. Stacy breathed. We kept close and picked up the pace, only 5 blocks to the car. A few seconds later Stacy turns to me, "Oh God, look," he breathes. As I turn to look behind me I hear a click followed by a ping. "The meth head has a switch," I said. "Oh well, he's probably getting ready to trim the verge, 3 blocks to go." We begin walking on our toes, barely breathing, listening as the smack of shoes on the pavement gets quicker and quicker. I turn back watching him speed walk towards us and wait to see if he's actually a threat, then scream, "Run." Stacy and I perk up running. The meth head is seething in anger, looking like he just popped a blood vessel as he's chewing on the side of his mouth. He begins running and quick. There's no terror like watching an incestuous meth head turn into Jesse Owens. It's just pure terror. This dude is running like he's in the Olympics. He wants us and he's not stopping at anything. We slide through the end of the block, and take an extreme right to end up at my 1978 Delta. God, I have never been more happy to see that old beast. We get in, and as we are pulling away, this guy collides wrist first with our back door. As we reach the intersection a few feet away, he stumbles up from the ground and begins shouting. He then throws his knife at us and we drive away. I do not know what this dude was on. I do not know what happened to him. We did not call the cops because they do not care. We just went to a local hipster cafe, got some food, and got back to Stacy's uncle's place to find his brother had some people over ready to get into a 5-person Mario party, so we relaxed and chilled till early morning. Final note: I never saw Louis again. It's too bad. Like most grads of our high school, there are stories. He's in college in Lethbridge, he's on drugs, he's selling drugs and making rap music. The rumor I like is that he cleaned up his act, got his life on track, and is working to a better life just like me. I have contacted him, no response. Stacy says they chill on and off, but I cannot validate that, neither can anyone else. I had liked to see him again and take him out for a coffee or tea or protein shake or whatever he drinks and spend a few hours catching up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to support my work. And as always, enjoy the fear, my dear.